Speaking to you from ringside at International Amphitheatre. Cyclone Ayana on the left, and Nature Boy, I Am Repugnant, Buddy Rogers on the right. Ralph Berg is the referee. He's no relation to Molly, and I think before everything is finished, we should have somewhat of a little to do here. Of course, getting Buddy Rogers undressed, oh dear me, he didn't wear his two-way stretch tights tonight. He sometimes wears a little arrangement over his shoulder here that the crowd gets a big kick watching Buddy get out of. This is best 2 out of 3 falls to a 60-minute time limit. Hey, fellers, leave us stay in the ring, kids. Anaya on the right came to this country from South America and has cut a big wide swath. There's an arm lock. Rogers, of course, is one of the leading American heavyweight contenders for the belt that Lou Thez wears. Has met him twice unsuccessfully in the past 2 years and is on his way up for a third go at it. Another takedown with that arm lock. Buddy's bridging. He had a count of 1 on him. There's another count of 1. As always, here at International Amphitheatre, for these big, stupendous shows that promoter Fred Kohler puts on, we've got a full house. Wow! Look at the boy counter, but he missed it. Tally-ho. This is the first time since Anaya came to this country from South America that he and Buddy Rogers have met. There's a headlock and the mare. Anaya whipping those legs of his around. He will try and pick Buddy Rogers off with a head scissors if he can, so keep your eyes on him, Mom. We've got so much of a crowd in here tonight that our cameramen are having trouble. You'll notice a camera jump once in a while, and it's because one of the boys has been bumped. Well, there's a side mare. Still a headlock. Still Anaya and Buddy Rogers. Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, that is. He was a Mr. America. One of the originals, I think. Oh, wee. You see Anaya try and counter there with the head scissors on Rogers just as they hit the mat. Well, if he gets out of this thing after a side mare, that will be the way it'll be done. Because in going down, Rogers doesn't have too good control of himself momentarily after they land on the floor, and Anaya always tries to counter either a flying mare or a side mare with a head scissors. It's just almost as automatic as him going to the mat. You can expect that. Well, he didn't do it. Just like children, every time you want them to perform, they won't do it. So I'll quit being a solvent and just watch. I haven't got a Swami's license anyway. I should shut up. Main goal of the evening. Onto the ropes with him. But he was almost hornswoggled there. Anaya would have been trying to counter there with a flying toe hold as Rogers came off of the ropes. That's what he was set up for. Watching these two laddie bucks, you're seeing two of the best in the business. There's that peculiar falling arm lock of Anaya's. He actually puts his knee in an opponent's stomach and jars him a little bit on the way over. This is an outside wrist lock that he has at the moment. It's a single, it's not double. You can see Rogers' hand free there. Power on this one is put more on the forearm than it is right at the wrist, but it's still in the category of being a wrist lock. Don't that me? Ring dust. There's not much movement here, but there's an awful lot of skill and craftsmanship being exhibited if you'll just watch for it. And Rogers makes a side mare out of an arm lock. Mr. Anaya is getting his sacroiliac coupled up again. Now we're off and going. There goes that same peculiar South American kip on that arm lock. No, buddy. I don't believe it's worth $3.90. That's a good boy. Thank you. You folks who have followed Buddy Rogers in the last few years have noticed that he has gained weight considerably. There was a cutie. That was an undercrotch feint, and this is a standing spread eagle, or a leg split, as it's called back in the hills around Van Buren. Whatever you call it, you just feel like there's not quite enough to go around when you got this thing put on you. Like trying to tear up an asphalt street with a pair of tweezers. It just doesn't seem like you got the equipment for it. Oh, me. This is getting like Mother Hubbard's cupboard. There ain't enough to go around. This I should not want would be happening to me, ever. Just imagine if Anaya were as full as George Mikins. Oh, look at yonder. These kids move. Of that, there is no doubt, ever. Looked for a minute there like Brother and I needed a Ouija board to find out where he was, didn't it, huh? Ooh, what a spine-crushing grand slam. That just wasn't a body slam, that was a grand slam. Look out here, Anaya. Both of these boys decide to be hard to get a hold of at the same instant. Things just have got to happen, kids, that's all. Bean squeeze on, buddy. This is a cauliflower kind of headlock, Mother. Yes, sirree, bub. You come up with ears like bagels. 4 or 5 day old bagels, no less, too. A few minutes of this. You know, a lot of you folks have often asked what causes a cauliflower ear. Well, it's all pretty simple. They're little cartilages that form the nice bristly part of your ear if you'll take hold of it and shake it. And those cartilages cracked in the process of a headlock like Anaya has here. And there's a little liquid that is exhumed or exuded by those broken cartilages. And of course, the liquid has nowhere to go, so all it does is swell up. In a few days' time, it is congealed and is on its way to being cartilage again. And that's how cauliflower ears are grown. Years ago, it used to be a practice amongst the young professional wrestlers to go to a guy of rather questionable standards and have their ears shot full of melted paraffin. And they made cauliflower ears that way. Ed Lewis has got a pair of them. Brother, they look like catcher's mitts. Well, here's Rogers trying to counter now with his reverse chin press on Anaya. Looks like he may be just about making him decide no. That little youngster come up to me at ringside one time, wanted to know if there's a place where he could buy cauliflower ears. Rudy Kay has a marvelously wonderful pair of them, and the kid was a great admirer of Rudy's. So the only way that he could really be in his crowd was to have 10 ears like Uncle Rudolph. Rudy can't stick a toothpick in his. Onto the ropes, block. Well, what a cute little way to do that one. One. Brother Rogers just spread all out like a mosquito net then. He was hard to get by, wasn't he? That wasn't a flying anything. He just jumped up in the air and spread out. He's got an eye here in the body press, plus a wrist lock extended. Now it's a hammer lock. Rogers turned an eye over there. Want the bright lights to hurt his eyes. Oh! Calling back that old Charlie Orr's of mine. Doesn't work in so well, but you know what I mean. This crowd's not particularly happy to see Rogers winning here tonight. I think they're all very much pro Anaya. If you analyze this match to date on a collegiate basis, it's definitely been about 50-50 for each of them. Rogers has added a Japanese wrist lock to this hammer lock. It's like putting a bachelor tax on income tax. Just compounding a felony of one kind or another. Rogers, if you used a crowbar on that, I'm sure you could exert a lot more pressure. Just a passing thought. I'll tell you what, Anaya is going to be put in the class of being very unsmart here. It doesn't submit to this thing because Rogers can really cripple you up on the hammer lock. I've seen him do it. Shoulder and elbow dislocations. He's caused them by the dozens with his hammer lock. Brother Berg asked him about it, but Mr. Anaya said he wanted to continue. I don't know why this place should be so dusty tonight. Well, there was a half Nelson that Rogers started to put on Anaya, and he got away from that in a hurry. Don't know as I blame him. Well, that's always so good for the upper muscle of the arm. The lad weighs 240 pounds drop on it with his knee. Well, there goes Anaya trying to set up his cobra hold. Brother Rogers definitely wanted no part of that, so he scat. When Anaya gets this cobra hold, it's actually a standing leg scissors and a leg lock on you, and gets his cute little number 18 neck tucked under your armpit. Something's got to give somewhere. There are very few wrestlers who want to go through it. That's why Brother Rogers wanted to leave the arena so quick. Onto the ropes, Brother Berg begging with the boys, blake it up, blake it up. Must be some Chinese got in there somewhere. A beautiful drag, there's another one. Tally ho! Flying mare. Makes a pair of them. got enough to pull a good humor wagon. Here's Anaya's cobra hold, and Brother Rogers leased the thing to him right quick. So the first fall thusly goes to Cyclone Ayana over Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. This is the first fall of a proposed 2 out of 3 match. The match can go a possible 2 falls more. At the moment, however, only 1 more would be needed by Anaya to walk away as claimant of the match here tonight between himself and Buddy Rogers. The thing being made official, let's take a minute's rest here, huh? You got the wrong corner, Mr. Rogers. This boy, Buddy Rogers, may be familiar to some of you people. He used to wrestle under the name of Dutch Rohde. So if Dutch Rohde satisfies you, go ahead and buy it. Always like the activity in Anaya's corner when he's at rest, don't you? Well, boys, now that we've got that detail handled, let's go back to wrestling here. The 10-second whistle has done went, and you saw Berg's hands come up there. The bell was drowned out, and the crowd to the noise crowd. Mr. Davis, put your uppers in straight. Really got the mumbo-jumbos here tonight. Well, there goes Anaya right after another cobra hold, but look where it brought him up. Short and half out on the ropes with an arm lock winged. As the poets say, a winged. Easy does it now, fellers. Let's not take to brass knucks at this stage of the game. It's been very enjoyable up to now. An arm lock falling. Well, as I say, Brother Rogers is going to bust this thing off of him if Anaya doesn't straighten up and fly right. Straightening up and flying right consists of saying yes, or submitting to this thing. Our boys up here in the loft tonight are really overtaken by the youngsters. You can see them bump the cameras every once in a while. But he's still set up on this reversed arm lock here. It's reversed in that he's putting it on from a fully reversed position. About the only way Anaya can counter his way out of this is with a drag, such as he just did, or a flying head scissors. Just curl himself up right around Rogers and fasten on. Well, here's Brother Rogers with a body scissors. 2 minutes of this and you'll have an hourglass figure for a week. Now it's open. This is the worst way to have the scissors put on you, because it comes right in under the cage of your ribs. Like wearing a rawhide girdle and getting out in the sun. Used to be years ago that there were certain wrestlers who depended on the body scissors to win a match. That's not good for your following either. And before wrestling certain individuals, they always tried to inveigle them into a full meal in order to avail themselves of every bit of additional pressure they could bring to bear. on a man's tummy with the body scissors. Well, here is a leg Nelson. This is the same thing as a full Nelson, only mid legs. Brother Anaya sprung that one at long last, and look what he's got here, a forward crossed. Is it or not? I can't tell. Well, fellow, that doesn't help me either. It is a crossed toe hold. Mr. Naya, you're going to get tripped, boy. I done told you. There's a toe hold reverse. Brother Rogers is putting the old meanaroo on this one, too, by taking it sidewise. You get through with a few minutes of this, you feel like you've been trying to dance the tango on a ball-bearing dance floor. Nothing seems right. The crowd thought Rogers used his hand, then doubled up as a fist to shove Anaya down, and half of the house booed and the other half didn't. Kind of half booed. Side mare. Drag. Crowd's urging Anaya on here now. They want to see him win this thing, and he's fairly close to it. He doesn't know whether Rogers is funning or not, and he's not going to take any chances. Mister, he doesn't want to do that. He shouldn't. I don't believe. The guy in the corner was urging Anaya on there then, as you can see. Mr. Rogers, perfectly legal, but that's the first rough tactic we've had. Kurt Mitchell nods a very sagacious yes to that. As long as it passes his scrutiny, I guess it'll be all right. Well, now he's getting a little too rough, Kurt, don't you think, boy? There's a drag. A block. Another one. Mr. Rogers, come back in. The tea's getting cold. You can see Rogers considerably towers over Anaya. Now, fellas, quit being so cagey. Mr. Rogers, you slap at him on his head. Madam, you sit down. Spectators are not allowed in the ring. Anaya absolutely detests being slapped. Something about it that he resents, it seems. A headlock. Back at Tin Ear Junction again, and that was a good clout right across the bridge of the nose. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if Roger started wearing welding goggles after this. Side mare, a block, another one. Oh, mercy me. Cash in the $2 checks, mother. Snap rolls, a pair of them in a row, preceded by a drop kick, and yowie, there's a pile driver. A body press, and could be 1, 2, 3, and so new. We've got each one of these boys possessing his due part of this wrestling match up to now. In other words, Anaya has a fall, and now Buddy Rogers has one. This makes it official, his hand held high there. And so, consequently, the detail winds up that Rogers has evened his chances for winning this match from Anaya. Anaya took the first one, as you well remember. Here is signification of the fact that Buddy has just taken the second one. Since this PA system isn't working here tonight, I took over the ring announcer's task of doing just that for you. Well, Mr. Anaya, you better come on, boy, and get up. The sun's high and the birds are singing. Not just the ones you hear, either. Roger's going to stroll over here and tell Ralph Berg, inquiring to find out whether or not in Illinois they have a 2 or 3 minute rest period. Well, I should have told you before the commercial, but it's just 2 minutes. And that 2 minutes, the clock keeps right on rolling. I mean, in a wrestling match in Illinois, the entire time allotted to the match, time between falls, and the actual wrestled time together to get 60, and when they reach that point, they just quit. Nope, Anaya is unable to continue. Can't get out there. Berg didn't even ask for the bell to be rung. So you can hear all of Buddy's friends booing him. He'll stand Anaya up here in the corner and gradually get him back in joint again. Yeah, he needs a little starch, boys. He's kind of wilting. Well, the match has been given to Rogers by virtue of the fact that Anaya could not answer the bell. Here comes the doctor. Fine old Negro gentleman who is on the athletic commission here in Illinois to look Anaya over and to determine whether or not he can be moved to his dressing room, or rather carried with perfect immunity. So apparently he decides he's just a little bit on the Laughing Academy side of things, and Buddy Rogers is going to help him back to a nice warm shower. It's amazing what that'll do for him. We thread him through here and get him headed for the place, then everything will be all right. These pile drivers, when a guy absorbs one of them, it just puts him up as a prime candidate for the Laughing Academy. Well, that's it. This is Russ Davis. I'll be seeing you.